Now, so Chris VanMeter is on the left of your screen, and Devin is on the right.
I think that Chris VanMeter first got noticed because of his play of Hivemind in Legacy.
Okay.
And I believe he won a Star City Games Open using the same deck list that was used to win the Grand Prix, to do well at another major Legacy event just previous to that.
Okay. Chris VanMeter has done very well. I think actually the first result I remember Chris VanMeter was when he was playing the green-blue Genesis Wave deck that Conley Woods designed way back at the beginning of the season in Kansas City, I think it was.
Yes, was that Kansas City or was that Illinois or Indiana?
I mean, Kansas City, but there's a lot of tournaments.
Sometimes, I know there's so many.
Sometimes I confuse them. The only ones I remember are the ones where I do well. So.
Right. And to be fair, Chris VanMeter got fourth place with Hivemind in the Star City Games Open Series in Seattle.
Okay.
And a number of other top finishes.
He's I believe the current leader for the Star City Games Rookie of the Year title.
Cool.
And
there we see Devin Koenke. We'll say that's what it is. Island versus Seacrom Coast. These decks are near mirror images of each other.
They're super similar.
Devin has 4 Gut Shot, where Chris VanMeter has 2 Gut Shot and 1 Dismember.
Chris VanMeter has 1 additional land, where Devin has a Stitch Strike. And Devin actually only has 3 copies of Gataxian Probe. And yet he had it turn 1. How lucky. So Devin's draw, I'm a little confused by how Devin's playing this game. It looks like he has quite a few creatures in his hand and has not cast any of them yet. I'm not really sure what his plan is going in here, but he has Lord. Maybe he just doesn't want to cast his Lords and get them imaged. I guess that actually probably makes...
That's totally reasonable.
Yeah, he actually has Lord, but doesn't want to play Lords for fear of his opponent imaging them. So he has his own images as well. So I probably would have played a Lord on turn 2. Even if it gets imaged, you get to image your own Lord and you're at least at parity.
And so goodbye bear.
Vapor Snag takes out the bear. Chris VanMeter plays out a land and trying to get a good idea of what's in his hand.
And let's see.
This was not the sort of action I expected to see from this matchup. I expected to see fast and furious, blood on both sides, and what we're seeing is Drago. I haven't really played this mirror match very much.
I have not played it at all, actually. I know that I believe Todd Anderson, who has written a lot about this archetype, thinks of it as a very skill-intensive mirror. I have not played it one bit. So, Stitch Drake comes down, removing the only creature in Devin's yard. I believe that will walk into one of many counterspells. Snappy into Vapor Snag, which is effectively a quasi-counterspell since the cost of the creature in the yard.
And now Chris is on the offensive. Now Devin is in a position where he has to react to Chris's pressure. I'm not sure I would have played that Stitch Drake there, actually. Both the threat of... Stitch Drake is just like your biggest creature in the mirror, and the threat of exactly that happening, setting you back from several turns, the ability to actually ever cast it. I think Devin is playing too passively. Yeah. On the play, I think you have to run your guys out there.
Gut Shot kills a Snapcaster Mage.
All right.
I think you're right, though. I mean, I'm just guessing based on my thoughts on it. Now we have the Moorland Hunt, which has no food.
And now, why did this not come into play turn 2 if it's going to play now?
Yeah. I mean, this can be leaked, amongst other things. And let's pretend that he leaks and leaks back. Then the thing before that he was maybe playing around, the Phantasmal image, that just still happens.
Right. So I'm a bit confused by Devin's choices here. It seems like if you're going to be on the play, you want to take the advantage of being on the play and get your stuff out there.
And we see the image.
Mana leaks?
No.
Sorry,
Mana Leak stops the Lord. Untap for Chris VanMeter. I see image in hand, maybe times 2, you said?
Looked like multiple images.
And I think I see a bear, but I'm not 100% sure. Chris shuffle, think. Taps 1 mana. Taps 2 mana.
And plays the Lord of his own.
Played his own Lord. This Lord looks like it's going to resolve. I see Lord and a image and a Vapor Snag in Devin's hand. If any of you happen to be a local player, for example, and you think we have Devin's name wrong, we apologize. We cannot read his handwriting. Devin goes 5th land. Moves 2 islands off to the side. He looks like he likes the bucket island.
A clear misplay.
I agree.
The Storm Island is by far the best.
Are you talking about Lightning Bolt Islands?
No, I'm talking about the Zendikar one with the Storm, whatever. The
Gotcha.
Veronique Marnard. She actually, I discovered that she actually makes all of the land from Zendikar that I like.
Nice. Lord of the Unreal and a phantasmal image copying it come down for Devin.
I mean, I guess that it's possible that Devin didn't want to play his Lord out and have the possibility of playing his image into a Vapor Snag, but he's just in that same situation here. I guess there's two lords now,
there's two lords, so it was safe.
He can't lose it to a Vapor Snag.
It was safe there.
But here Chris is going to be able to Lord, and that's going to resolve. Even a Vapor Snag, you don't like target, so I'll choose.
He's really trying to bait that Vapor Snag out of his hand, you know.
Yeah, he's like.
Do you have any responses? Anything you want to do? Is that okay? That's fine, he says. We have a Vapor Snag and a Stitch Drake as Devin's only cards. And I think we're going to see another one.
So these are some gigantic images. So for those of you who aren't quite clear on how this interaction works, when Phantasmal Image copies Lord of the Unreal, Lord of the Unreal does not say other illusions because it itself is not an illusion, so it actually pumps itself and gives itself hexproof. So each of those lords is a 5/5 at the moment, well, other than the real one.
On Chris's
the real
side.
Lord of the Unreal is 2/2. The Unreal Lords of the Unreal are 5/5. Whereas Devin has a 2/2 and a 3 and a 4/4 rather. So Devin with quite a few lands and
he's got a crazy tap going on. 1, 2.
Is this crazy tap just Stitch Drake?
I think it's just Stitch Drake. He did it so deliberately. So much drama to the tap here. Stitch Drake, down it goes. Lord of the Unreal out of the yard. No creatures left in Devin's yard.
So the graveyard effects in Devin's deck working overtime and a bit overtaxed actually because he has no creatures to remove with that Moorland Haunt.
In they come, the Unreal Lords of the Unreal.
So 2 5/5s coming in. Chris, I believe, has a Vapor Snag in his hand still. So,
and I think Devin also has a Vapor Snag in his hand.
These blocks seem like they could. All right, so
Last
Snag.
card, Snag. Manly can stop this from Chris. He has it in hand.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just leak here. I guess you could, if you let it resolve, then you end up with. I think you just leak.
I think you leak. I think it's just
sure.
too much of a loss. Or Snapcaster leak. That works too.
I think I would have leaked out of my hand because with your Vapor Snag in hand, you put your opponent in a position to block and get blown out. If he just leaks from hand,
that's fair. That's absolutely fair.
If he just leaks from hand, he has Vapor Snag still in his hand. If Devin tries to double block one of them, he can blow him out with that Vapor Snag.
Absolutely, you're totally correct.
I don't think getting that Snapcaster in play and using your mana that way is nearly as powerful as the ability to just kill both of your creatures with your opponent's creatures, or rather, kill one for free and not lose your own.
Yeah, and now what's going to happen is Devin is still going to be outclassed with his Unreal Lord of the Unreal, but even if that's the case, maybe not. No, there we go. He's still going to be outclassed by his Unreal Lord of the Unreal.
Gutshot makes that. All right, Gutshot makes that not too bad.
It's still not as good as the other one.
The thing is, Devin, if Devin had also blocked with his own image, he would have traded images there.
Because there was no way he was going to bring that image out though. Like the image was not going to block. It would put him back.
He could have traded his image because he didn't block until after that point. So if he blocks with his 4/4 image, or rather his 3/3 image, and actually, am I doing this math wrong? No, it was a 4/4, right? Yeah,
it was a 4/4.
So Chris's would also die in that situation because Chris would go down one Lord, and his would only be a 4/4. It would have taken 4 damage.
That's fair.
And then that image dies. So I really disagree with how Chris plays that. If his opponent ends up playing it in that manner.
We see a Gitaxian probe from Chris VanMeter revealing a mana leak from Devin.
Mana leak, not something that you want to have in your hand in this position when you're so far behind and your opponent can very easily play around it. So Devin left with just a 3/3 image. Oh. Ponder, you want to mana leak it? Huh?
Yes. Let me stop it.
You want a mana leak? I know you can. No? Okay. We'll go digging. So that image comes in, and it looks like
we're gonna see a spirit come out into play.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna try and trade with both the spirit and the image,
unless something goes wrong.
And he just vapor snags it before he blocks. I guess his
life total is diminishing very rapidly.
Yeah,
so.
It's true. It's true. You can just do a lot of damage this way.
He's got 2 cards left in his hand. One of them, I believe, is a mana leak still. Is that correct?
It is. He could have mana leaked that vapor snag. I think I certainly would mana leak vapor snag there.
Absolutely.
Like you.
I mean, Chris has a mana leak in hand, is what I was saying.
Right, but
and then Devin also has one.
Devin has a mana leak, and it's his only card in hand, and Chris knows that. He's not going to put himself into a position where that mana leak is going to be better than that was.
We've got the 3-moon Ponder.
The correct Ponder.
Yeah, that is the correct Ponder. I don't like fishy Ponder.
And that's going to be a shuffle.
Looks like a Delver and 2 lands. No, thank you.
That is certainly not the cards that you're looking for at this point in the game.
What is the card you think you want right now?
Something that's not in your deck. I think the optimal draws for Devin here are just images.
I think so,
Image
yeah.
is just the best card he can draw here. Image is just pretty much the most powerful card in this mirror match because of its interaction with Lord. And the fact that you can often get your opponent's Lords as well. So,
you know, a part of me wonders if it's worthwhile to consider not having Lord in your deck so that you can just work off of their Lords. But
I think it's totally reasonable. I think that you end up opening yourself up to getting your Lords imaged, and you end up the way that Devin played this game at the beginning, he was playing an incredibly passive game because he was afraid of getting his Lords imaged. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And you can't afford to do that in a matchup like this.
I think I see Mana Leak, Snapcaster Mage, and Vapor Snag for Chris VanMeter. I'm not 100% sure of all of that hand, but I think that's what I saw. And
he can just attack with everything.
5 life here is not very much. He can make a spirit to chump something. If he comes in with his Lord of the Unreal, then the Unreal Lord of the Unreal that Devin has can eat it. But he is in a really, really rough position in terms of like.
But he has both Snag and Leak in hand. There's
Chris VanMeter has Snag and Leak.
Right. So
he has Leak definitely, or Snag definitely. Oh yeah, he has Snag and Leak.
Well, he has
Snappy
at worst.
And I think I see a Snag there. That looks like a Snag. Yeah.
Well, if he doesn't have Leak, okay, so he goes to 1 life. There's 2 mana leaks.
There's the Leak, and then Leak back for the win.
Oh,
or he just pays.
Pays for mana leak. Okay.
Take 4, take 1.
So,
I think what we had there was a out-of-order sequencing do-back situation. This is actually something I've talked about with Ricky and with Nicholas, where one of the things that is possible is that if you're a bad actor, and I don't believe that Devin was trying to be a bad actor here, that with the current judge philosophy, it's possible for things that could be kind of a little bit sketchy to happen.
Sure. So, as expected, Chris VanMeter wins that game. And
you expected that because you are banking on the name power of Chris and his experience.
No, I'm saying as expected from that board position.
From that board position. Okay.
From the fact that he had 18 life and 3 guys and the opponent was at 1
Okay. I thought you were. I thought you had predicted earlier in the game.
No.
Before.
I mean, I actually would have predicted Chris to win that game on turn 2 when his opponent didn't play creature in the play.
Yes.
But But yeah, I'm still kind of perplexed as to what Devin's plan there was.
Well, if he's not familiar with the mirror, one of the things that, I have not played this mirror. I'm not sure what I would have done, but I might not have made that play. Maybe I would have made that play. But it's possible that Devin has not really played the mirror. Yeah. A lot of times you have a deck like Illusions. You play it against other people. You're like, hey, you got red? Okay, cool. Do you have Andrew Cuneo's deck? Do you have Wolf Run Ramp? And you don't end up playing the mirror, so you actually don't know how to do it. Yeah, it's definitely something that players do less than they should. Is particularly with popular decks, play the mirror match. You're finding out what's important and how the optimal sequences of play should go. One of my favorite things to do is if I have a deck I like, play against someone who likes to play that deck and play the mirror to death.
Mm-hmm. So, looking at these players' sideboards...
Oh, there we go. This is going to be a little bit different, I think. Chris VanMeter...
He has a bunch of Stitch Drakes.
Mental Misstep, Gut Shot, Dismember.
They're basically on the same
Dissipate,
plan.
Stitch Drakes.
I see some Stitch Drakes, some Mental Missteps.
And it looks like Devin actually has that missing land that Chris already has in his main deck. Devin has it in his board. We see again the Mental Misstep, Dissipate, Stitch Drake. He also has Oblivion Ring.
Mm-hmm. Chris VanMeter has Revoke Existence in his sideboard. Interesting. So, I have said, as have you, that we're not really familiar with how this sideboarding goes, or rather how this matchup goes. How do you think the players are going to sideboard here? What do you think comes out?
Honestly, I feel like I'm shooting in the dark. If it was me, I might consider sideboarding down mana leaks to 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want it in my opening hand. I'm not sure about Lord of the Unreal as a 4-of after sideboard.
Mm-hmm. I can see taking out some number of Gitaxian probes since your life is very relevant.
I'm not sure about Phantasmal Bear, but the thing is the more you take out, the less you become this deck, and you don't want to just become some sort of impotent kind of control deck with some cards.
The Stitch Drakes are pretty powerful. They are able to dominate the at least a single Imaged Lord, and they pretty much demand that you have some sort of answer to them. Chris has one copy of Dismember in his main, one copy in his sideboard. I'm going to imagine that Chris is likely to bring out some number of copies of Gitaxian Probe, because having Dismembers and Probes and Gut Shots in his deck in a matchup where he's being substantially threatened by his opponent.
I don't think that Dismember stays in, actually. I think Dismember goes out.
I think that you need to be able to kill Stitch Drake.
I think that Vapor Snag is going to be one of the ways you handle Stitch Drake,
Absolutely.
combined with some combination of Mana Leak and or Dissipate. And also, I think Phantasmal Image being out is a way you might try to handle Stitch Drake, because one of the things about Dismember, 4 life to kill a creature
it's a lot of
in
life.
This matchup, it's a lot of life.
That's certainly true.
Particularly when you know that they might just have counterspells. And they don't have each other's deck lists. I have definitely seen Illusions lists that run Negate in their board and or main.
Sure.
Typically more in their board. But the thing about that is, you don't really want to have Dismember be strong countered.
Right. Well, I was actually going to go look at one of Todd Anderson's recent articles to see what he recommended, but he actually doesn't have any Dismembers, so I don't know what his thoughts are.
Well, he does interestingly have the Negate in the board that we're talking about.
He's a singleton Negate. Yep. He has actually pretty much. It looks like Devin is playing pretty much Todd's exact list here.
His sideboard
he has a couple different cards in his board.
Active Aggression is different in the board.